normal and a bass, which also that's like triples the possibilities of the dip switch. So that came about later because also, especially for the bass, I figured, it must work for bass also.
So you have to change the input structure.
Yeah, exactly, the preamp, because that's the biggest difference. If you think back to the 60s when Marshall used to make those, the plexi heads, for example, they had the bass and the lead.
That's right.
And the main difference was really just a couple capacitors changing the frequency response.
Right.
So I had to introduce that to this product also.
I see.
So that's how that came about. And then all of a sudden we had like Michael Anthony from Van Halen.
Yes.
He got some of these, and many other bass players, Dale knows this better. We have a huge list of bass players who started to use it.
Okay.
Which, by the way, eventually led to the bass driver DI, which here's the one of the prototypes that doesn't have the external knobs on it yet. What I did is I just listened to what people liked and they wanted, and listened to myself, because originally I wanted this and I like this. And then people
solved your own problems.
Solved my own problem. And then when other people said, like, I like that, then I started to think about maybe I should market this. So,
yes, correct.
But, yeah.
And what was the original selling price, the original retail price of SansAmp?
I think it's about $300 or $350. Okay, because it was all handmade. Actually, I made the first one myself, and then I hired somebody, and I had one person. Actually, she's still here. She still works for me. She used to work for Electro Harmonics, interestingly enough, back in the 70s. She used to make those wonderful gadgets, for Mike Matthews. And actually, Mike Matthews recommended to hire her. So, we kind of knew each other, and...
How long did it take you to actually make the first prototype of the SansAmp that you had created?
Oh, it's really hard to put the number on it, because it's actually almost took like 10 years, because I didn't work on it every day. Originally, I wanted to build just like an overdrive unit that doesn't sound like a fuzz or a distortion, but sounds more like an amp.
A clear tone and an amplifier tone.
Like really, it's just cuts through, the guitar cuts through. It doesn't changes the guitar's tone.
Correct.
As most distortions and fuzzes do. They have this artificial top end.
Correct.
And then as time passed, then I realized that I have to really break it up to like a preamp section, then a power amp section, and then a speaker simulator.
Correct.
Instead of just like one quote-unquote distortion unit.
Had you had electronic training in school?
Yeah, that's what I went to school, college for. I was growing up in Hungary, which was an Eastern Bloc country, so the technology was much more behind.
Which was a good thing.
Which was a good thing.
Correct.
That's why we learned about tubes. I made my living of repairing equipment, so you can't just do one kind of thing. You widen that, and that's how I learned about microprocessors, because actually in school I didn't.
Right.
Because as I said, I learned the old technology.
Correct, right.
But I'm very glad I did, because later on it really came handy.
Yes.
With the SansAmp is basically, I wanted to find a way to emulate the sound of the tubes without the hassle of the tubes.
Correct.
This is my bench. It's very basic. I keep it basic. We have some other tools out there, but this is mostly for audio testing. So I have a pair of studio monitors. Interestingly enough, they are upside down, if you notice.
Yes, correct. And they're a pair of EVs.
Yeah. But the reason they're upside down, because most of the time, if I'm standing, they probably would be good, but when you're sitting, I want to have the tweeters, at about ear level. So that's why they're upside down. I like the EVs actually because they have a really good low end.
Okay.
And I'm trying to have a full range monitor somewhere in between those little NS10s and the big Uris,
correct.
Those are my monitors, a basic oscilloscope, RMS voltmeter, and audio generator. That's all I need really at this point. Now on a PC I have some programs that actually gives me some more elaborate simulations and analyzations, but those are top secret, so I'm not sure.
I actually see also you have a very prime piece of equipment, which is an Espresso Maker on your desk.
Absolutely, that's a necessity.
It's a critical component to great creation.
Yes, and I have my own grinder, Italian grinder and Italian espresso machine.
Buongiorno.
Buongiorno, and Ely's coffee.
Wonderful.
Ely's #1.